So, Terra Maledicta has been out for a week as of the time that this video is going up and I am recording it. So what I was planning to do was go over the good things and the bad things that Terra Maledicta introduced to zombies in Vanguard, but instead I think it would be better to compare this map to the launch map being Anfang. So in today's video we will be taking up Anfang against Terra Maledicta to see the differences and to see which one is better. Obviously you will have your own opinion, probably even as you're watching this video right now, and I would love to see what you think down in the comments down below. Obviously let's kind of put aside the whole Vanguard being poo-poo, and I will be kind of looking at it in a certain way of specifically Vanguard, not looking at things outside of this zombies experience. Before we fully get into it though, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 31,000 subscribers, and also be sure to drop a like on the video as that would really help out. Let's aim for 50 likes on this one. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So I guess the first thing to cover is the locations on said maps. Now this will be including the hubs and the separate objective based locations, since that's how basically zombies works on this. So on Anfang, the basic hub area is set in Stalingrad, and to be more specific, it is a multiplayer map called Red Star. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Red Star map, and honestly having to go into it ever since November until recently non-stop on zombies was kind of a pain, because it's just not the best thing. Kind of works in the zombies experience, but it was very limited to what Red Star can actually offer normally. One location was closed off and the rest was very similar and wasn't anything special. Obviously another thing to point out, it is extremely dark, it's set at nighttime, and it does kind of set a really nice mood for the experience. Now on top of this, the other objective based locations were Hotel Royale, a campaign location which I don't know the specific name, but I like to call it the windmill map, and last one being Shinonuma, the return of the OG Shinonuma experience, but it was heavily cut down, and the main thing that you can do is kind of go outside, but you can't go past the flogger location, and also you're mainly stuck in the main building. Now on Terra Maledicta, the main hub area is definitely more interesting to me than Anfang. The main reason being it isn't one multiplayer map. It's a bit of a combination of two from my understanding, and a bit of kind of originality in it as well. So the hub location is a combination of the multiplayer map Oasis and also Desert Siege. There's a place where you can get stamina up, which has the train from Desert Siege, but overall the main place just feels like it is just Oasis. It doesn't feel like something I have definitely played before, which is a huge plus in my opinion. And putting it out there straight away, I think the main hub area, if it were to be a normal round-based experience, would be a pretty good map. If you just had the whole normal purchasing doors and that layout, I think that would be a pretty good map, to be honest. But on top of this, you also have different objective based maps, but whereas on Anfang it was 3 different locations, on this you have just 2, and I think that's because the main hub area is so different from Red Star that we had on Anfang. But you have a brand new Dark Ether location, the first time we've actually ever been in the Dark Ether set in this universe at this time. We did experience this with Machina, but this is, my opinion, totally different. This is full on the Dark Ether, and also a mission from the campaign itself towards the end, which does feel just exactly the same like the campaign. They added a bit of fire and different things like that. And also to mention, the main hub area on Terra Maledicta is way brighter than Anfang's, which is a huge plus in my opinion. Now since we spoke about the maps itself, let's talk quickly about the objectives. So Anfang launched with 3 objectives, but with season 1 we did get introduced to Purge, which brought the objectives up to 4. But then again, with season 1 reloaded, we did get introduced to a brand new objective called the Void objective, which both Anfang and Terra Maledicta share, but I will go into that later in depth. So now, as of the time that I'm making this video, that means that Anfang has 5 objectives. And on Terra Maledicta, you have the exact same objectives, including the Void objective, but on top of this, they introduced the Sacrifice objective, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'm not going to get into the details of them, I just kind of wanted to point out that one has more than the other, and I feel like into the future with other maps we'll see Sacrifice on them as well, and who knows, maybe even Anfang will get Sacrifice as well. Now let's quickly go back to the Void objective. If you don't know what the Void objective is, it's kind of the main thing that everybody always goes for, and I personally go for, and that is because it's the round-based experience. And looking at the 2 maps, I will straight off say Anfang, if there is a point system, has to take a point on this one because it is super easy to access on Anfang. Now yes, straight off the bat this objective isn't accessible, but all you have to do on Anfang is simply go towards one direction and you kind of just have to complete 2 objectives and you have the place unlocked. Whereas on Terra Maledicta, you literally have to complete the main objective, aka Easter egg, whatever it's called, which takes around an hour or even more, and the main reason for that is because you have to listen through so many different lines from the characters. It's honestly such a frustrating thing because the void objective on Anfang is kind of bad. It's Shinonuma, but it's a small version and I'm not a huge fan of it. But the void objective on Terra Maledicta is a huge open area which is set in the dark ether, like the coolest map on this DLC in my opinion, and it's just really fun to play, but to get there it's such a painful train wreck that takes way too long. By the time I get there I'm already sick of playing zombies. Yeah, I'd love to just spawn in and play round based. It's a weird one with this one in my opinion because I like the location that's on Terra Maledicta, but it takes too long. I'm not a huge fan of the location on Anfang because it's kind of small, too tight quarters and too dark, but it's super easy to get there. So it's a bit of an odd one for me on there. We don't see any new things being introduced, like no new perks. If we were to talk about the perks, honestly the Anfang perk system is way better, as in where they're located, way easier. Jug can be accessed almost instantly, just complete the first objective towards that direction and you're done. Whereas on Terra Maledicta, you have to rely either on the objective itself making you spawn there or having to go and unlock it towards there. But if you do go off and try to unlock the jug location, that way you can actually take way longer to unlock the round base experience, and it's just such a painful thing. So I guess there is a perk section and I don't like what they've done on Terra Maledicta with the perks and where they're located. The main one I always get seemingly seems to be Speed Cola, I guess, because it's literally like the most easiest thing to get. And now for a little bit of honorable mentions, I guess you could call this. So something that I don't think deserves a category is wonder weapons. Anfang only has the ray gun, and you could quite literally say Terra Maledicta does also just have a ray gun because the actual wonder weapon on there is just an embarrassment to say for wonder weapons. It's just the worst shield ever and it's mainly used for the Easter egg itself. Speaking of the Easter egg, both maps have an Easter egg, I guess. If you were to say, I guess the Terra Maledicta one is better because it's longer, develops the story, but is a pain doing it every single time. And if you're wondering what the Easter egg on Anfang is, it's the one that shows like the green portal for the Terra Maledicta / healing aura thing. So I guess that's an Easter egg on there. I guess zombie bosses or different types of zombies. Terra Maledicta introduced one of the most annoying ones that has like 3 different damages to it because you have to destroy like these masks off of it, which is basically just a horrible thing to do because it just spawns in every single time. Sometimes you can get 2 of them. I think the name is like Zabella the Deceiver or something like that. I hate it. And Anfang has, I guess, the gunners, but Terra Maledicta does as well, and the boom shriers, which also has on Terra Maledicta, so it's a bit of a weird one. And thinking about it, I think that's kind of it, the main things to compare. So in conclusion, if we were to say this imaginary point system that I kept on mentioning, I'm not sure what won, but I think they both offer something for specifically Vanguard Zombies that if you were to combine the good things from both maps and put it into the second DLC, I think it could be good in its own way. Not good zombies level kind of stuff. And personally, my favorite one is currently Terra Maledicta, even though the main thing that I really don't like is how difficult the void objective is to get. If they let me skip the audio lines, it would be definitely easier because on the way there you do collect your points to get to the void objective, which is a good thing in a certain way. So yeah, once again, be sure to comment down below what in your opinion is the best one out of the 2, and I feel like most of the comments will consist of Vanguard bad, which you are not wrong, and also who cares, and also I feel like maybe most people will side with Terra Maledicta from what I've seen in the past. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.